In Bougainville, they talk about the crisis, a civil war that ended in the late 90s with the scars still evident.
It had a devastating effect on Bougainville. Bougainville used to be one of the best performing provinces or regions in the whole of the Pacific. The level of education here was really high, the leadership of the government was extremely strong, and places like Arawa were one of the best planned and most picturesque towns in the Pacific.
The former capital, Arawa, reflects the crisis that destroyed commerce and essential services like schools and hospitals. Buka, at the other end of the island, is now home to Bougainville's administration.
Morning, how are you?
See you, I'm well, thanks.
It's where Australian aid specialist Edwina Betts has been working with local experts, assisting the autonomous government's rebuilding program.
I'm the AusAid representative here in Bougainville, and my role is to build relationships with the government, with civil society organisations, the churches, and really learn and understand the context on the ground and help shape the aid program to meet the needs of those people.
The job description doesn't mention a sense of adventure, something that is necessary for the regular trips to monitor Australian aid projects.
So we'll just look for our drivers. Should I assume are these guys over here?
Edwina and her AusAid colleague Rosalind Kenneth travel to health and education projects in rural areas. It's the dry season, but roads are far from dusty. Bridges are few and far between, and heavy rain is turning creek crossings into rivers.
There's about 15 major river crossings between Arawa and Buka, so this is all part of the job. But we wouldn't normally cross unless we've got the go-ahead from the drivers. We really trust their judgment.
As experienced as they are, things don't always go to plan.
Madness, I wouldn't even attempt it.
So their crossing is postponed.
How long do you think it'll take? Maybe a couple of hours?
With darkness, a decision is made to wait until morning. Even then, it's no easy crossing.
If they feel confident, we could see this morning that the river had gone down substantially compared to yesterday, so it's all part of the course.
One adventure behind her, Edwina's next stop is a school opening. After 6 years in Papua New Guinea, the last 2 in Bougainville, it's her final trip to this village.
We are fortunate you are here, and we have a lot of things, a lot of education projects and programs, so we are also sad to know that you are going.
And as you know, education's close to my heart, so I've really enjoyed it.
Edwina and the Education CEO have been collaborating on a plan to reopen schools.
Out of the 500 plus schools in Bougainville, we have maybe 60% of those have got permanent classrooms, and the rest of them are semi-permanent.
A major achievement of the Bougainville government. The government's only 5 years old, really, and to be able to achieve that in such a short period of time is tremendous. Misanapia Makim AusAid, Huzat, providing funding underneath long basic education development program. On behalf of the Australian government and in partnership with the Division of Education and the Chief of Keru, it gives me great pleasure to declare this new 4-in-1 classroom open.
During the Civil War, a whole generation of children missed out on an education.
Not only are we sort of supporting education for the students that are of normal school age, but we're also working with the government to identify ways of lifting adult literacy in Bougainville for that lost generation.
The next stop is a drug and alcohol rehabilitation centre run by an order of nuns. It also serves as a refuge for victims of domestic violence. Staff have been threatened by a group of men intent on removing a woman under the centre's protection.
Her relatives came to get her back to the village, but herself, she doesn't want to go back because she's still afraid of her husband.
They said they would come back here by 1 o'clock if we do not tell them where the woman is.
Police are called to take charge of the dangerous situation. These women also provide trauma counselling training for community members working in the villages.
They're a really important partner for us, and we've been providing a lot of support to them over the years for that kind of counselling training and being able to access people in remote areas that are still feeling the effects of the crisis.
Bougainville is rebuilding in so many ways. Construction of this 15-bed hospital in a rural area will also provide many important health services. For Edwina, as she prepares to return to Australia, it marks yet another important step in the partnership she has enjoyed with the Bougainville administration.
No, I'm really sad to be leaving Bougainville, but I'm leaving feeling really optimistic. I've seen so much change over the last 2 years. All the schools have reopened. Over the last 5 years, 70% of the health posts have reopened. The coconut industry has really recovered to pre-crisis levels of production. The strength of leadership of the Bougainville government is really strong and stable.